Want to learn how to make this easy, simple, sleeveless pencil dress? Come, let me show you. Hi, welcome to the Creative Nest. I'm Catherine. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I hope you like what you see and you will subscribe for more. So in today's video, I will share with you step by step on how to create this beautiful sleeveless pencil dress that you see me wearing. So if this is something that you are interested in, keep watching. Grab your fabric, grab your tools, and let's get started. I'm going to use this fabric right here, and it's a stretchy fabric. It's a two-way stretch. The thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fold the fabric into two, and then I'm going to fold the fabric in two again. So you should have your fabric in 4 pieces. This tutorial, you need your fabric, and I just showed you the fabric. You will also need your measuring tape, rulers, a straight ruler, and curve rulers. You also need chalk, and the chalk is for me to mark on the fabric so that you will be able to see what I'm doing. Your pins, and lastly you will need your scissors to cut out your dress. In order for you to know what size fabric you need, I'm going to measure the largest part of my body, and the largest part of my body is my hip. It's 43. I'm going to divide that by 4. So 43 divided by 4 is 10.75. Because this fabric is stretchy, I'm going to add 1/2 inch for seam allowance. So that's 11.75. So I should have 11.75, and as you can see, I have 15. So I have more than enough. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to take my shoulder measurement. So starting line, I'm going to measure my shoulder. My shoulder is 15 inches, but because we are sewing in an armless or sleeveless dress, I'm going to minus 1.5 inches from my measurement. Half of 15 is 7.5. So I'm going to minus 1.5 inches from that. So I'm going to put 6. I'm going to come down 1 inch for my shoulder slope. Remember, our shoulders are not straight, they are slanted. So I'm going to come down 1 inch. The next thing that I'm going to do is measure my neck width. So my neck width is 4 inches. I'm going to put that there. The next thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to measure the back of my neck. So the back of my neck is 1 inch. So I'm going to put that there. And the front of my neck is going to be 6 inches. All right, so we're going to now join those points. I'm going to use my ruler. Okay. All right, so what I'm doing now, I am going to draw a line back to where my neck width is. To take my armhole opening. My armhole is 8.5 inches. I'm going to deduct 1/2 inch. So I'm going to put 8 inches. And that is right here. So I'm going to measure what I have up here. That is 6 inches. I'm going to measure, bring that here as well so that I can create a straight line. Okay, so while I am here, I'm going to take my bust measurement. My measurement is 40 inches. So when I divide 40 into 4, I get 10. So I'm going to put my 10 inches here. I'm going to add 1 inch because we're using 1 inch for seam allowance, and I'm going to join them. Okay, the next thing that I am going to do is find the midway point between these two lines, and that is 8. So half of 8 is 4, and for the front I'm going to come in 3/4 of an inch. A straight line to connect these two. I'm going to use my curve ruler. Front armhole, I draw a straight line there, and then I just curved it into the armhole opening. Okay, so for the back, I'm just going to measure. All right, so this is our front armhole, this is our back armhole. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to measure from my shoulder to my waist. My shoulder to my waist is 18 inches. And I'm going to draw a straight line. My shoulder to my hip is 25 inches. That's right here. Connect those two lines. Okay, so the next measurement that I'm going to take will be my full length. My full length is 40 inches. Seam allowance is just going to be 1 inch. So that is what I'm doing now. My waist is 34 today. I guess that's all the eating that I've done. I'm going to put the 8.5 on my waistline. And I'm going to add the 1 inch for seam allowance. And next I'm going to, on my hip line, I'm going to place my hip measurement. My hip is 43 and 43 inches, and 43 divided by 4 is 10.75. And I'm going to add 1 inch. Okay, so I'm going to connect these points. So from my bust point to my waist, I'm going to use a straight ruler. And then from my waist to my hip, I'm going to use a slight curve. I'm not that curvy. Just a slight curve. Okay. Now the other measurement, the next measurement that we need will be from our hip to the full length of our dress. And I'm going to take what I have here. So I'm going to measure what I have to my, so that's 11 3/4. So I'm going to minus 2 inches from that. So that will be 9 3/4. And I'm going to place the 9 3/4 on my hemline, and that will create the pencil effect. And then I'm going to add my 1 inch seam allowance, and then I'm going to connect that with a straight line. Okay, so that is it. Now we can cut out our dress. I'm going to cut out the back first because the front is slightly different. When I get to the shoulder, I'm going to add a 1/2 inch, and that 1/2 inch will allow us to join your shoulders. Then now I'm going to cut it out. I brought my pants up and I didn't even bother to use them. Oh well, sometimes I do that. And make sure everything is lined up properly. Now I'm going to cut the back neck. Now going to cut out the front, and then we can start putting our dress together. Isn't that beautiful? This I am going to pin because I want to make sure I don't mess up that shape. All right, so let's cut that out. Okay, so that is it. We can now put our dress together. We're going to put our front and backs together, and we're going to stitch the shoulder seams together first. So because my dress is a stretchy material, I'm going to use my zigzag stitch. Back stitch at the beginning and at the end. Okay, we got off to a rough start because the machine kept eating the fabric, but we got through that. So now we have our shoulder seams sewn. The thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pin both sides, and then I'm going to stitch it, and then I will show you the next thing. Okay, so now that we have our side seams pinned, I'm going to now sew them. So now that I have both side seams stitched, I'm going to try on my dress to see if I need to make any alterations. So I'm going to do that now, and then when I come back, I will show you the next step. So this is what we have so far. Isn't it beautiful? I guarantee you this would be the easiest dress you ever make. That's how simple it is and so quick to put together. So I'm going to finish, do the final steps. I'm going to use this bias tape. So I'm going to put the bias tape around the armholes as well as the back neck and the front neck. And what I'm going to do is to the bottom, I am going to take a 1/2 inch and then a 1/2 inch again, and then I'm going to pin and stitch very close to that edge. So I'm going to do that. When I come back, I will show you how the dress looks. And here the dress is in all its glory. I really like the way the dress came out. I think it's so beautiful. But you tell me, actually when I thought about creating this dress, I never had bias binding as my finishing method. But when I saw the bias binding, I thought it had a nice touch to it, so I decided to use it on the armholes as well as the neck binding. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Talk to me in the comment section below. And this is the front of the dress, and this is the back of the dress. And I must say, this dress came together fairly quickly. This dress was easy. This is probably one of the easiest things that you will see on my channel. The most difficult thing probably was getting the measurements and maybe inserting the bias tape. That's about it. But other than that, this dress was so easy. If you would like to see more videos like this, just remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Share my videos with family and friends and all those persons who love sewing or who simply just want to be inspired. I will see you in the next video. Be blessed. Bye.